On Thai PBS World Tonight, 6 people killed and many injured in bridge collapse on Rama 2 Road. But what has been done so far? Thailand has been called a not-free country in recent Freedom House rankings. And the deportation of Uyghurs sparked human rights concerns amid Thailand-EU FTA talks. Good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Nabuna.
I'm Frank Kanshi.
And we'll begin the program with the latest on the Rama 2 Road accident. But whenever we talk about the Rama 2 Road, the first thing that you would always think of is the traffic congestion and also a number of accidents as well, especially in construction areas, with the most recent tragedy taking place last Friday where 6 people were killed after a bridge collapsed. To give you context of what it's all about, what you're seeing here is how congested Rama 2 Road is. If you have traveled to beach towns like Hua Hin or Cha'am, you must have traveled through this road because Rama 2 Road is one of the most important roads connecting Bangkok and its vicinities to the south of Thailand. But Rama 2 Road has been in the news for all the wrong reasons because it is not only known for its congested traffic, but a series of road accidents, especially in areas of construction, which have been dragging on for more than 50 years. And according to the Department of Highways, over 2,242 road accidents have been recorded over the course of 7 years between 2018 until last year, 2024. And a total of 132 people died and 1,305 people were injured in accidents during the 7-year period. And recently, 6 people, including a Thai engineer, were killed and about 20 others injured after a bridge under construction on Rama 2 Road collapsed on Friday. The cause of the accident is still being investigated. Transport Minister Suryateng Rumrungkit ordered the contractor responsible for the elevated expressway to pay at least 1 million baht in compensation to each of the families of those who died. As for the latest updates, the Expressway Authority of Thailand has reopened one inbound traffic lane for access to Chalerm Mahanakhon Expressway from Dao Kanong Toll Plaza on the Rama 2 Road after workers have succeeded in removing the debris of a collapsed bridge from the road surface faster than expected. The EAT governor said today that he believes the reopening of even a single lane will ease traffic inbound congestion on Rama 2 Road, a main route from southern provinces into the capital. He said that the efforts to clear the road of collapsed bridge wreckage, which was under construction as part of the elevated expressway project, are now 70% complete thanks to the men and heavy machinery which have been working around the clock since the accident last Friday. However, it will take about 30 days for the outbound lanes to be reopened to normal traffic. However, the Deputy Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police has advised motorists not to use this route if it's not necessary. Traffic signs have been erected along Rama 2 Road, advising Bangkok-bound motorists to use a detour via the expressway to the Sukhsawat Rama 2 intersection, then turn right towards the Pumipon Bridge. This route may also be congested though because the Purple Line train track between Taupun and Raburana is currently under construction. The accidents on Rama 2 Road are already causing safety concerns among the people, and people have been complaining about the traffic congestion, which mostly stemmed from the construction that has been dragging on for decades. Previously, the Transport Minister gave his assurance that the 3 road projects currently under construction on the Rama 2 Road will be completed and open to traffic in the middle of this year. But up until now, where's the progress? And you can see the huge damage from the bridge that collapsed on Rama 2 Road. This has already fueled the fear for motorists who have to travel down south because you think about the increased traffic congestion and most importantly, what if you're driving and all of a sudden a bridge collapsed in front of you?
And this debris actually signals the security and safety concerns for those road takers because of course, ever since I moved to Thailand since 5 years ago, I have listen and of course got these news stories for many times.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a detour way to go to Cha'am or Hua Hin, as in, of course, you can drive to Nakhon Pathom and go south that, but it would be very time consuming because normally it takes only 90 minutes via Rama 2 road, but if you go through Nakhon Pathom, you may take over 2 hours here. And another part is that actually Songkran is coming. It's a very important route to go to south, to go to Cha'am, to go to Hua Hin. And I think those people from south, they work in Bangkok. Normally, of course, they drive back too. But 1 month, of course, is before Songkran or nearly Songkran period. So we will see how the Transport Ministry really tackle this issue.
Right, but thinking about driving from Bangkok to Hua Hin, for example, if you use the Rama 2 road, it would take around like 3 hours. But if you use the Nakhon Pathom route, that would be like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So that is already time consuming. That was why many people use the Rama 2 road. But then because of the accidents, the ongoing constructions, the traffic congestion is really intense there. And for me, I go to Hua Hin very often, but because of this, I would avoid.
Yes, and I think international tourists, they will avoid too, because right now, the situation is not that good and it's still very perilous at this point.
Exactly. And now on to another not so good news for Thailand, because the country has been called a not free country in a recent annual rankings by Freedom House, which surveyed freedom and rights of over 195 countries and 13 territories around the world. And this year, Thailand is called a not free country in the Freedom in the World 2025 report this year. And the country was given a total score of only 34 points out of 100, which is a decline from last year where the country was ranked as partly free with 36 points. According to Freedom House, a nonprofit organization based in the US, which advocates for democracy, human rights, and political freedom, listed the reasons why Thailand is classified as a not free country. The first main reason is the dissolution of the Move Forward Party by the Constitutional Court in August 2024, ruling that their election campaign to amend the Lèse Majesté law overthrows the constitutional monarchy. Apart from the party's dissolution, the party's executive members, including Pita Limcharoenrat, are also banned from politics for up to 10 years. And the second reason is that the Thai authorities' decision to repatriate activists, refugees, and asylum seekers to countries where they face mistreatment, particularly the deportation of 40 Uyghurs back to China in late February. And if we compare it to countries in the ASEAN region, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, and Myanmar are also classified as not free countries, while the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore are classified as partly free. And if we look at the most free countries in this report, there are many countries such as Finland, Norway, New Zealand, Sweden, Canada, Denmark, and Ireland. So if we go back to Thailand, there are many more reasons that Freedom House analyzed why Thailand is considered a not free country. One of the main reasons is the political system and the freedom of press. And if we go back, the two main cases, whether it's the dissolution of the Move Forward Party or the deportation of the Uyghurs, these are the two main reasons. But there are many other supporting reasons why the scores are so low. And if we look back at the elections in 2023, the Move Forward Party won the elections, but they were blocked by the military-appointed Senate and later dissolved. So this is already alarming enough for human rights activists and political critics as to what is happening with Thailand's democracy. Not only that, when Sethar Thavisin was ousted as the prime minister and then Pathongtan became the country's leader instead, that also raised a lot of questions among the international community. And even the Senate elections as well, which has been widely criticized as the most complicated election process in the world, and how opposition parties remain targets by people in positions of power, and also the freedom of press, where reporters were arrested during the anti-government protests as well. So these are some of the reasons why Thailand is considered not free. And if we look at other countries within the ASEAN region, especially neighboring countries, Myanmar scored as low as 7 points, especially with the ongoing unrest by the military.
And it's quite surprising, of course, Thailand is part of that not free country with Myanmar there. And of course, it's the political system that really disturbs the freedom of speech or praise of freedom here. And of course, it links with Les Major's law, that Mufu party, the defunct party right now, was disbanded by this kind of law. So of course, Western countries, they really condemn Thailand on the freedom of speech. And I think, of course, the opposition party right now, People's Party, they still want to amend this law. This is still under their policy too. But in this year, of course, political system, and of course, one of the main issues is the deportation of Uyghurs back to China too. I think Thailand still named not free at this moment, and we will see, of course, how Thailand really improve in a way to get more freedom. But of course, right now we are media, we are journalists, we still can report, but for the political issue, especially sensitive ones, we have to be very careful.
Exactly, and opposition parties are still targets of dissolution and also attacks as well. It's not just the People's Party at the moment, but those who are against the government are still main targets. And one of the clear examples was the protests like during a few years ago, where most of the activists and human rights advocates are also main targets as well. So that actually reflects on the democratic system here in Thailand. That is why we are among the not free countries, along with many ASEAN countries as well, including China as well, is also considered not free.
Fail score for Thailand in terms of freedom of speech here. Another ramification of Thailand's recent deportation of Uyghurs back to China actually is about economy and trade, because of course Western countries, including United States, Japan, of course, and European countries, they condemn Thailand about this issue. And right now, of course, it's very important for Thailand to sign more and more free trade agreement here. And one of that is with European Union. But some experts say that Thailand has to clarify the deportation of Uyghurs back to China as soon as possible. The European Parliament has voted overwhelmingly 482 in favor, 57 against, to condemn Thailand's decision to deport 40 Uyghurs to China in late February. Parliamentarians have urged the European Commission to use the FTA negotiations as leverage, pressing Thailand to implement reforms related to labor rights, asylum policies, and human rights protections, as well as to cease any further deportations of Uyghurs. The Intelligent Research Consultants, or IRC, assessed the European Parliament's stance, noting that it could hinder and delay the FTA negotiations, highlighting that the EU places significant emphasis on human rights, labor protections, and environmental standards, meaning Thailand must swiftly provide clarity to ensure its compliance with these principles. However, conflicting statements from the Thai government, human rights activists, academics, and politicians have created uncertainty, particularly concerning the availability of third countries willing to accept Uyghur refugees. The upcoming fifth round of negotiation of EU FTA schedules between 31st March and 4th April is expected to see this issue take center stage. Analysts believe the Ministries of Commerce and Foreign Affairs must take a firm stance and produce documented evidence to counter concerns. They also warn that the failure to do so could significantly complicate the negotiation process. Despite these concerns, Commerce Minister Pichai Narithapan sought to downplay the risks. He pointed to a recent teleconference with European Commissioner on 10th March, where both sides reaffirmed their commitment to expediting the trade agreement. He said, quote, "The agreement will expand trade and investment opportunities reduce barriers and facilitate commerce, further strengthening the potential of business on both sides. Negotiators from both Thailand and the EU reportedly expressed optimism about concluding the agreement swiftly. And, of course, the key date to pass this EU FTA will by the end of 2025. So it's very, very important to Thailand to complete and seal the deal with the European Union. But, of course, EU right now, they are still thinking some, I think, condemning, of course, the human rights issue in Thailand. And, of course, in ASEAN, right now we can see Vietnam actually has signed EU FTA in 2019. And right now in 2023, I think the recent data that Vietnam has the bilateral trade amount at 64.2 billion euro, but Thailand only 25.19 billion euros. So, of course, this EU FTA can help Thailand to boost the trade with, of course, European Union. It's a very big bloc here. And Thailand, of course, has to prove to Western countries, especially EU, to sign the deal completely.
And Thailand is not really in a good position at the moment, especially with the Uyghur repatriation back to China, because the international community has been condemning Thailand for its decision. And recently, the US imposed visa restrictions of Thai government officials involved in the deportations already. So the whole world has been condemning Thailand for its decision. So right now, Thailand has to really clarify the situation before it can proceed with other negotiations, including the FTAs as well.
And of course, Prime Minister Paetongtarn already do the downplay about this issue. And I think, of course, right now, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and, of course, the government official right now, they are trying to clarify these situations with all allies in the world. And of course, I had a chance to talk to Slovenia's Deputy Prime Minister here last week because she was coming to Thailand to celebrate the diplomatic relations with Thailand too. And we talk about actually the deportation of Uyghur issue back to China too. So this is what she said about Uyghur deportations, Thailand's decision to deport Uyghurs back to China. Have a listen. You've seen some news stories in Thailand about the deportation of 40 Uyghurs back to China. How will you perceive the human rights development in Thailand at this moment?
We regret that fact, and I discussed in length with my counterpart on the situation, because we wish to see, of course, that this window of human rights field narrows, not narrows, broadens here in Thailand. I do try to understand the request from China, the conditions that Thailand put forward, how to deal with people, but still I was, before in the European Parliament and following the discussion, I was parliamentarian myself, dealing with civil liberties. So we always have in mind the respect of human rights and the respect of citizens.
We've seen the plenary debate on this issue yesterday at EU Parliament. Of course, some say that it's condemnation to Thailand's action, but some say that actually this is the opportunity to strengthen the collaboration with Thailand and EU. Do you think this case, deportation case, will affect Thailand and Slovenia's relations, or even EU-Thailand relations on FTA negotiations, or even Schengen visa exemption case here, do you think?
I think it gives us all opportunity that we have open channels to discuss and understand each other. That's what I said before. I had a lengthy discussion that the minister and my counterpart really tried to explain me the point of view. We regret the situation. We are concerned about the people, how they will be treated, but I do understand that there is an ongoing discussion. So if that is an opportunity that also Europeans try to engage more in the discussions, how to really ensure human rights are respected, then this is a good way to go. I wouldn't connect it with the issue of visa-free or things that are on the table. We today signed, Slovenia and Thailand, a very important agreement. This is releasing the visa requirements for diplomatic passports and business passports.
That's right, it's what you said. It's a small step, but actually it's a very good vision for the future about the advancement between two countries there, and of course with the EU too. I think one question that we have to mention actually is geopolitical questions, geopolitical issues in this region too. So what do you make of the geopolitical issues here, especially in Myanmar, and what's the stance of Slovenia here?
In the Security Council, we were working hard on different initiatives on Myanmar. They were not all successful, but we are very concerned about the worsening of the humanitarian situation, dire humanitarian situation. So we really want to see stability, protection of civilians, engagement of all stakeholders, how really to make it work. And we are today discussing with the government of Thailand, so with the minister, how it's an engagement of neighboring countries here. What are the priorities to really understand? But on Myanmar, we will be actively working on in the Security Council, mostly really to protect civilians and to stabilize the country. This is, I think, the first priority.
Right. Another geopolitical topic that we have to talk about, of course, is in Ukraine right now. Of course, we've seen might be positive advancement. It's about there might be a truce, 30-day truce between Ukraine and Russia here. So, as in Slovenia, indeed, is a smaller country in European Union. So what's your measure and what's your mechanism to really push Slovenia's efforts in this war and conflict? And how would you say, is there any possible resolution or even temporary solution there for this part of the world?
We had some difficult discussions recently at the 3rd anniversary of Russian aggression in Ukraine in UN, but what I can say is also from our historic background that we do understand the Ukrainian fight for territorial sovereignty and integrity because we want to see just and lasting peace for Ukraine. And if there is any good peace initiative on the table, it has to be accepted for Ukrainians in the first place. No one can by force take your land away or change internationally recognized border. So we are committed strongly to the UN Charter. We supported Ukrainians, but also now if it's a good peace initiative that can stop this brutal war and stop killing the innocent civilians and destroying the infrastructure, then we will support it. But as I say, we want to see just and lasting peace for Ukraine. We need strong, safe guarantees for Ukraine, but also we have to be, as Europe, strongly engaged in this discussion because at the end of the day, it's also about reconstruction and long-lasting peace and stability on our continent.
So, of course, I think Slovenia Deputy Prime Minister met with her counterpart Marisa Myanpom there. It's very important. Last week they talked about this Uyghur deportation issue, and of course DPN said that she regretted over Thailand's decision, but right now it's a very good opportunity to strengthen both countries' relations too.
Right, and now let's end the program with this story. I'm pretty sure many of you love Thai fruits. What's your favorite Thai fruit?
Durian.
Durian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me would be mangoes. But then if you're a fan of Thai fruits, this news story is actually for you because Thailand is pushing for more Thai fruit exports this year, which they aim to be a golden year of Thai fruits as well. So the Commerce Ministry has designated 2025 as the golden year for Thai fruits, introducing a comprehensive management framework to boost exports of locally grown fruits to the world market. Commerce Minister Pichaina Riptapan told reporters this week that the official framework, which includes 7 measures and 25 plans, also aims to promote domestic sales of Thai fruits through all regular outlets nationwide, as well as potential new channels. Supported by this management framework, he envisioned that both domestic sales and exports of Thai fruits and their processed products should reach 950,000 tons this year, particularly for durian, mango, and longan. And Pichai stated that the framework is also expected to stabilize the prices of locally grown fruits, as overall supply is projected to rise by 50% year on year to over 6.7 million tons in 2025. He also said that durian supply alone should increase by 37% year on year to over 1.7 million tons, followed by mango, which is expected to grow by 10% year on year to around 1.3 million tons. And according to the Commerce Minister, 8 plans have been specially tailored to enhance exports of Thai fruits and their processed products to overseas markets through 32 activities, which are expected to generate at least 10 billion baht in revenue for the national coffers. These activities include business matching between 96 Thai exporters and 63 importers from 19 trading partners, as well as promotional campaigns of over 10 platforms of the online Top Thai store and at the ThaiFest Anuga Asia 2025 event scheduled for May this year. And to give you some of the figures, in 2024, Thailand exported over $6 billion worth of Thai fruits. That includes fresh fruits, processed fruits, and frozen fruits as well. And this is equivalent to about 231 billion baht. And the most popular fruits for exports are durian, longan, mangosteen, young coconut, and mango. And most of their main targets are China, Hong Kong, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So many countries do love Thai fruit, and you can see the popularity in other countries as well.
And of course, summer season is coming, so we are waiting for the harvest season of all durian. For me, of course, sometimes
yeah, for me
I
would
try
be mango, especially mango sticky rice. That would be my favorite. And during summer, that is where you can really enjoy the greatness of Thai fruits, whether it's durian, longan as well, mangosteen, and I'm pretty sure people love it.
And if you really travel around in all 77 provinces in Thailand, actually you can see durian, but there are so many different kinds of durian in different provinces. So if you really fruit lover in Thailand, we encourage you going around in the provinces and to taste it.
Yeah, not just in markets, but also local orchards as well, because that is where you can get the fresh fruits as well. All right, and that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. Join us every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Thai PBS World's Facebook and YouTube Live. And don't forget to follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest stories and analyses about Thailand. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ